Leo.
I'm excited to be back, my man. It was 9 days in Vegas. We got stuck in the desert, and we had a little hangover remix out there, man.
I wore a wig to school once, and they said no headgear was allowed.
How did the
spider web
was it
tights.
obvious that it was a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was
It was a
having
terrible
fun.
wig.
See, this is exactly why we have them on the show, and this is what makes them fun.
You're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Hi, this is Joy Neas with Behind the Art Scene on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. And today my guest is Mary Little. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you very much.
And she coordinates the youth art program for the Stockton Art League over at the Goodwin Gallery on the Miracle Mile. And so we're going to talk all about the Stockton Art League and the Goodwin Gallery. And the Stockton Art League is the longest running arts group, fine arts group in Stockton. They started in 1936, so that's 82 years ago. They were the first art group that I found when I came to Stockton 25 years ago. And so, Mary, how long have you been a member of the Stockton Art League?
Since about 2015, I joined the league and didn't do very much until I actually retired, and then I was asked to be on the board. And I've been on the board since 2016, I believe.
So why did you join the Art League?
Well, I started art about 10 years ago, something I had always wanted to do. And I went through the Ollie program, Ollie at Pacific, and took some art classes with Deanna Hunt. And I just loved it. And I still was teaching, so at UOP, but every spare moment I tried to do some artwork. And so here was this Art League. I joined it.
So what kind of art classes did you take with Ollie? That's a senior program?
Yes, it is. I took drawing classes, watercolor, mixed media, and we have kind of a cohort of good buddies that get together, and we still get together. In fact, I just came from across the street with my fellow artists. Hi, guys. And we were working at 10 o'clock, and they will stop at 1. But we get together and work on our projects and critique each other's work.
So what's your favorite medium? What do you enjoy working with the most?
Actually, pencil, pen, ink. I like to do architecture. I try watercolor. I'm working at it. It just isn't my strength, but I really like pen and pencil.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I think when I stopped by, what you were doing the Victorian house.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It's done. It's on the wall.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the Art League has changed so much over the years. Several years ago, I did an altar. I'm an practicing artist with the Mexican Heritage Center. And I did an altar for Day of the Dead. And I wanted to remember and celebrate the lives of a lot of the artists that we've lost through the years. And I looked over the list. There was over about 25 artists, 25 to 30 artists, and most of them I had known from the Stockton Art League.
Isn't that interesting?
And
yes.
So we've, the Art League has really been, the presence of art in Stockton, and the place to go for many of our Stockton artists. But unfortunately, so many, are older, and we've lost them. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the kind of the changing attitudes of the Art League. So when you joined, what did you find that it's kind of it's just so wonderful to me to think that you're actually having a children's art program now.
Right. Well, when I joined, things were looking pretty bleak. As you say, many of our wonderful artists and members had moved on.
Yeah.
And the aging population was getting bigger, and the membership was not as enthusiastic in the past as it had been in the past. And we were hit with an ADA mandate that we had to spend a great deal of money on fixing the doors for the access to wheelchair access.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had to make over the rear restrooms and the front door and the back door. And so that was what we were faced with, and the board members were dwindling, so we needed to do something. And I suggested, well, why don't we have a children's art class? And the reaction was, well, we'd love to, but nobody seems to want to actually do it. So there was the gauntlet, and I said, okay, I'll see what I can do. And thanks to the board members, so many of them, Denny and Ruth and Maria and all of them, just helped me get to know people. I was very new to the Art League. And we had a handful of really faithful and loyal go-getters who were willing to work with me and put together an art class from scratch. And so what we ended up with, short story, we now put on 3 art classes a year, 4 weeks in October and June and March. And we have them once a week. We charge a minimal amount of $20 for the series. And we only charge because we didn't want to actually say, this is a free event, come and go. We want to take it seriously. But we do offer scholarships.
And then you said you end up paying the instructors?
We do. We pay the instructors $200 for the entire 4 weeks. There's an hour and a half each week for ages 6 to 8 and ages 9 to 13. So we have 2 classes. Should I go on that?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. So how many different teachers do you have?
We have 7 or 8 overall. We started with 2, and they kept on teaching until their other interests, and then we fed more new teachers in, and so now we really have a nice bank of dedicated and capable and professional teachers. So our goal is to teach good art, not just crafts, to the students so that they can have a different outlook on life, get away from those technological devices, and just learn to see the world in a different way.
And yet, when I was at the Art League and we were discussing, you tend to focus on the fundamentals of art.
We do.
So what would you say are the basics that are being focused on?
Well, basically, of course, the color wheel and perspective, and the basics of watercolor, and we use wet wash, dry wash, gimmicks like sand, shading, tinting, just all the things that students really need to know. And I don't pretend to be a teacher because I'm not that good yet. Probably never will be. But our teachers are like B. Flores has been teaching art in grammar school for something like 30 years, and we have, let's see who else, Cecily Haynes, who went to the university in San Francisco, the Art University, and graduated there, and she does different ways of teaching the basics. So color wheels using mandalas.
Oh, mandalas.
Yes. And we have done things like, should I show them some pictures?
Sure.
Okay. So B came up with this instruction for robots. And so here we have should I put that in here?
Yeah.
Right.
So these are some examples of what were done at the children's class. So that was B's ideas, the robots?
Yes. And that had a story to go with it. So we're trying to teach them also your basics that they need for life skills. So this little robot was called Poof. So on one day, want me to show it there?
So we got a story. So they're learning art. They're learning, some writing techniques.
Right. So on a day, where's my glasses here? Sorry about that. One day all the robots were free, but Poof Poof was the only one left that was not taken. So he decided to take over the world, and we have an army of unwanted robots to help him. But they were all so tiny and got crushed by the humans stepping on them, so they all died.
Uh-oh.
Poor Poof.
Oh, poor Poof.
So also, here's a picture of one of our little students waiting for class to start. Does that work?
So, this was at the end of each of the series, you have a reception.
Yes.
That was a really wonderful event. And they make a program for the reception with all the different students' names. So this is just a great keepsake for the families to, make a little binder of their budding artists, make a portfolio
Right.
to go of their experiences.
Right. And in the future, we're going to try and plan a children's art membership and perhaps have a section on the wall for us to hang some of their major works.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, just like we have an Artist of the Month at the Stockton Art League.
Uh-huh.
And here again is the reception, a picture of one of our little artists that Joy's right up.
So that's Isabella. We got
Luhan?
Luhan. I've been following her for several years. The program started in 2016?
Yes, it did.
2016. So she's been a student for 3 years now?
We have at least 15 students who have started with us and are still with us.
Wow.
We're watching them grow.
Oh, wonderful.
It's the little Coyles, Stephen Coyle and Dave Coyle's grandsons. They come every time, and it's really fun. But back to when we started, the ADA was draining our resources, and they told me that we had no money, period. So we applied for a grant from the Stockton Arts Commission, and we received $750.
Okay.
And it was wonderful. So we were able to pay our teachers, get supplies, and we had a wealth of supplies coming in from the members. We put out the program on the internet, out on the website, and in the Calligraph, our newsletter. People came and gave us paper and paints and equipment and supplies of all kinds. So we really were lucky to get all that. And then we applied again a second year from the Stockton Arts Commission and received $1,000. We had to wait a year because you can't go in consecutive years, and so now we are applying again.
Yeah, so the Arts Commission has their grant program. That I feel that's the best thing that the Arts Commission has done in their existence, is offer these grants to artists in arts groups. But they have a stipulation: you can receive a grant 2 years in a row, and then you can't receive it for the third year. So. But I'm really glad that now you applied again.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, very good.
And it's nice that we also picked up another class for the Stockton Unified School District, is the program for students with special needs to get into the community. They're 18 to 22-year-olds. And Lori, the teacher, came to us and said, could we possibly help her? She gets the students out there. They have all kinds of little needs here, and they go to bowling, and they do things in the community so that they can be self-sufficient and independent lifestyles. So we started teaching their art classes about 1.5 years ago.
So is that at the Goodwin Gallery?
We started at the Goodwin Gallery, and we did clay projects. We did so many projects with them, and they just loved it. In fact, I don't think I have any pictures of them, but the recent one we did colored crayons, and now we go to their classroom.
Where is their classroom?
It's Quail Lakes
Okay.
Baptist Church,
Okay.
and the church gives them a room to use for their classroom.
Okay.
And so that's worked out really well.
So they contacted you, or how did that come about?
Yeah, Lori Goby, the instructor, came to our board meeting and said, I think we had done one class with the youth art program. And she said, is there any way we could get some instruction in our classroom?
Okay.
And I said, well, we have things set up. We have the equipment. We have the teachers. Why not? And so then that started.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
And the other thing that it was really impressive. I think you guys are still doing art expressions. They have an exhibit at the airport, the Stockton Airport, and now the Stockton Art League. Some of the members have exhibited at the airport.
That's right.
So that's still going on? Or?
Not really.
No.
Yes. I think we just stopped recently.
Oh, really?
Because I don't think there was enough interest from our members, and it's some glitch that didn't quite work out for us. But we can always start again.
Yeah. So we got to just keep these things going. One thing that the Art League has done, and this is tremendous. You're going to be having your showing at the Hagen Museum.
Yes, yes.
When is that going to be?
I think it's May 17th at the reception.
Oh, so that's coming up, May 17th.
I think that's the right date. And yes, we have so many. One of our members of our workshop across the street has been accepted. I think there was something a little over 100 entries accepted out of about 400 total.
So who was accepted?
Oh, Ann Zink is one of my co-workers. I mean, my art friends, and so one of her pictures was accepted. That's exciting.
So who's the judge this year?
I'm not sure.
You don't know? Okay.
No.
So that the Art League has always had an exhibit at the Hagen. They had an annual exhibit, and several years ago it started to be a biennial every other year. So I'm glad to see that at the Hagen again this year. And now the Art Splash is going to be starting up May 11th. That's the Downtown Art Walk. And you guys, the Art League's going to come and have a little display there?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
We're going to bring in our flyers and perhaps some clay projects, something to give away for the students to walk away with, and pass out flyers for the Art League and for the youth art program.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And maybe display some of their work.
So come to the Cress. It's 20 North Sutter Street. And the Art League will be in the lobby of the Cress building. It's May 11th from 5 to 8 p.m. That's a Friday evening. And I'm so glad to see you guys. You're really pushing to get out in the community and keep things going. Can you tell me about Raul Mora? I know that the Art League, you used to have, like every month you would have a different guest speaker.
Right.
But now Raul Mora, what is he doing?
Well, it kind of morphed into his coming once a month to give an art class. Okay. And the basic format was drawing. And Ruth Kuhn, former president, longtime member, started this. She felt like we don't really have enough interest and commitment to drawing. We paint, but she wanted to start these drawing classes, and Raul is a terrific teacher, and so she started those classes. And now it's turned into a once a week lesson. It's $15 a month, and then the other 3 weeks people can come in and work together, kind of a workshop, and critique each other. So that $15 covers the entire month.
Oh, so that's for the Tuesday?
Yes.
Days?
Yeah, he used to be the second Thursday. It's the Thursday.
Oh, that's the Thursday.
Second Thursday of the month.
Okay. And so on Tuesday, any artist can come to the Goodwin Gallery from, 10 to 1?
10 to 1, right.
And it's kind of a social thing.
It is.
To get together.
Yes. We're social, and we have a lot of laughs, and we actually do a lot of serious art.
Yeah. So, how many people do you usually have there creating art together?
Anywhere from 6 to 12.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was all different kind of mediums.
Yes,
And,
yes.
So do you guys kind of get, ideas from each other? Or?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're always exchanging new brushes, new techniques, our slumps. We have a jar in the center of the table, and anybody who puts themselves down has to put a quarter in the jar.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, we're very supportive.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I will say, Dawn, you didn't want us to talk about anything controversial. I just gotta make one little remark. Sorry to say, but I love the Art League and everything that you guys have been doing. And when I first started, I had joined the Art League. You used to have a gallery. It was up, actually, it was right on the corner of March Lane and Pacific, right behind the Denny's. Now there's a Buffalo Wings place, but that was a little strip mall, and there was a space there that the Art League had a little gallery.
I'll be darned, I never knew about that.
And so they had a gallery there. They had one in, I think, one of the malls. So they had several gallery spaces before you were able to get the Goodwin Gallery here.
Okay.
And one of the greatest things, this is a good thing that used to happen in Stockton. I'd love to see it again. They had a studio tour of all the different artist studios, and I shared a space. There were some people that you could go to their studios, like Carl Miller.
Yes.
I was able to go to his studio and see his work, his printmaking in his garage, and just see him in action. You know, he had arthritis so bad in his hands, but he made the most beautiful pieces of art.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that. But for people who didn't really have a studio, we shared spaces, and the space we shared, it used to be the Bull and the Bear. It's now the La Palma restaurant on the Miracle Mile. And they had, right next to the La Palma, the main part of the restaurant, they had like their banquet room. And that was where I shared a space with George Ladd and Ann Anderson. And the three of us, for the weekend, we showed our art together. That was a wonderful experience. And so then I showed some of my, I was actually at the meeting when the Stockton Art League, we met at Merrill Gardens, which is, it's now Brookdale. It's over by the Trokey Library. It's a senior retirement home. And we met there, and we were all discussing, should we, where should we have this gallery? And so I was there when they voted to get the Goodwin Gallery space and move in there. One of the, I was able to show some of my art there and sell some pieces. Unfortunately, you had talked about the word craft. And I think craft gets a bad rap. But,
that's true.
When I was going to San Francisco State, I took a class, and one of we had to do a piece of art about a country, and I made a beautiful piece, a painting, but it had some collage elements about Brazil, about Rio, and the Corcovado and the Christ statue and everything. And I wanted to show that in the Goodwin Gallery. And unfortunately, some of the leadership said, we don't think this is good enough, and they put it in the back storage room. And they wouldn't allow it to be seen because it had the collage elements. what I ended up doing then, I took that piece and I donated it to the Mexican Heritage Center, and they were able to raffle it off, have a silent auction, and got $65 for it. So those are the types of things. And then I also do a crochet. And, you know, a lot of people consider that maybe crafty, you know, a little old grandma or whatever. But I made some beautiful Victorian lace elements. And I put them, had a nice tree branch display and had them all hanging. And I wanted to display that in the Goodwin Gallery. And those were thrown in the back room and said, oh, these aren't good enough.
Wow.
So those are some of the things that can kind of be disheartening to artists.
Right.
I think basically we need to just let the art speak for itself, put it out there, and let the people decide.
Exactly. Everything is art.
So,
you know, art is everywhere. And I think that there always will be a controversy here and there about what is art, what isn't, of course. But I think you'll find that the gallery is much changed in this respect. So bring back that crochet piece.
There we go.
And do another collage, because we have a collage up there on the wall right now.
I want to see the collage. You actually brought a collage here today.
Okay.
I really like that collage piece that
Which
you were
one? Which one is that?
with the birch trees.
Oh, yes, yes.
That they were teaching.
Watercolor.
Look how beautiful, stunning that is, with birch tree cutouts and the background sky. Lovely, I'd buy that. So
there you are.
I'm an art collector myself too.
Then there's this negative positive, which really twisted their brains.
Yes. So how was that? Was that done? Were you guys doing like linoleum block prints? Did they?
We have since done prints, yes, with linoleum type that's not so hard to dig out.
Right.
And yeah, it was our last project. No, this was just paper. And it took a while. We had to start very simply.
Right.
And then the final product ended up looking like that.
That's wonderful.
And then we had, showing how you can.
No, yeah, I love with the hand.
Yes, isn't that
That's
wonderful?
great. So, yeah, that's just like a 2D drawing, but it makes it look three-dimensional, like the hand is popping out of the work.
Yes.
It's just wonderful.
And then, of course, your ice cream cones in order to show.
Yeah, that's another collage with all
The shades.
and the shades.
Yeah, yeah. They leave the gallery with their work. They're very happy. Here's the final one.
Yeah, I don't think they saw the
They didn't see this one? Okay. There we go.
There's the ice cream cone. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, they got it.
Okay,
All right.
good.
But so it really I'm glad that you're reaching out to young people and you know, opening the gallery to, you know, have people come in and you know, learn from each other. I really enjoyed there was a stained glass workshop.
Yes. It was very successful.
With Christy Halva.
Yes.
That was wonderful.
Yes. Well, another outreach we did with the Stockton Unified School District students happened to be after Christmas, after the Festival of Trees at the San Joaquin Historical Museum, Society and Museum. And the trees were still up and the decorations. So I said, well, why can't we take them out there for a visit?
Oh.
So they got to see the barn and the trees and the schoolhouse, and it was quite exciting.
So who did you take?
The Stockton Unified School District students, the little class we teach. Mm-hmm.
So the children?
Yeah, they're 18 to 22-year-olds,
okay.
and then Lori brought them in the school van.
Oh, okay.
We met out at the museum, and I happen to be a docent there. I'm a pioneer school teacher.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to kind of show off the museum and all the 1846 type things that we have, and the agricultural center, the Cortopassi building, the barn, and the wagons. So that was exciting for them. So it's funny how one thing leads to another, and you can
yeah.
reach out in the community, and pretty
sure.
soon there's these connections.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So I'd love to see, downtown we have the Art Splash. So it's like the art walk to all these different locations that where artists and performers are. It would be wonderful to have that here on the Miracle Mile.
wouldn't it? Yes.
So we have the Goodwin Gallery, the Art Lab, Werlo's, Valley Brew. A lot of the Whiskey Barrel, the different places have music performance
Right.
or the visual art,
Sure.
and just to have like an art stroll up and down.
It'd be very good. Yes, be excellent.
So do you think you guys would like to work on that? Or
I think we could do that, and I think they have some things like that, wine strolls,
yes,
but not particularly art.
not particularly art. We're more on wine, so you got to get back to the art. Yeah.
I think a fun idea would be to have an opera in the park, and a Stockton Art Festival, like we have a asparagus festival.
Right.
Maybe in the spring we could have a little stage and have a bit of opera and some artwork, and people could come and upscale, a little more of the classics and
So,
down to the everybody.
So you're thinking which park?
Victory Park, I think,
Victory Park.
might work, but that's just an idea of mine.
Yeah.
So it might be feasible one day.
Yeah, I mean, Victory Park. There's been so many. That's really the home of a lot of the festivals. The Earth Day Festival,
right.
And for the past I think 7 years, they've had Delta Fusion with the puppets.
Yes.
And we need to use our assets and concerts in the park.
Absolutely.
That's
yes.
coming up.
Yes.
I love that the Hagen, when it first started, I think it's 5 years older than the Art League, but there was a rose garden.
Yes.
And then at some point they took out the rose garden. But I was able to see, I'm not sure when it came back, but the Stockton Beautiful, they reinstalled the rose garden.
Yes.
That's one of the, I think, most beautiful features they have
It's just
there.
absolutely terrific. Yes.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of outdoor classes there, plein air
Oh, yeah.
classes, and do the museum and the trees. It's a beautiful park. Trees are great.
So actually, several years ago, there was a plein air exhibit at the Hagen Museum.
It was terrific. I wish I had gone again.
Is that going to be coming back?
I hope so. I really do. That was absolutely exquisite. Yes.
We need to bring the plein air exhibit back. Yes, I saw some of the and some of those artists were from other cities. They came to Stockton.
Nationwide.
I saw I think a woman from the Reno area. She was down at the waterfront, right next to
The plaza.
It's the Joe waterfront, but she had set up all of her easel, and she was painting,
Right.
and it was just amazing.
It was terrific. I attended that. You could stand and watch them work, and they explained what they were doing.
Oh wow!
I stood behind a watercolorist,
Okay.
and he just put some stuff on the paper, and it became a picture.
Where
At that
was
particular
it?
promenade.
Oh, right. Okay.
But it was, I think about 8 years ago, they had a visiting
Really?
artist on that whole promenade, and they set up their easels, and they painted plein air, and people were allowed to come and watch them work. And then they sold it afterwards. So that was exciting.
So those are some of the things that it's so good to, if we could just not just have a hit and miss, but have it more regular.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Part of our lives.
Right.
Yes.
So now you have the mural on the side of your building. That's something that there's been 3 different murals on that building in the time that I've been here.
Wow.
So murals, they just go from one to the next. But I'm hoping that we had talked that maybe we could get some more murals all along the Miracle Mile. There's so many just blank walls that could have a mural, have something historic, have something whimsical. We could have all different kind of themes and artists.
Right.
And, this could be like a whole mural kind of a district.
Absolutely.
Or something.
Yes.
Like the Werlo's wall. That would make a beautiful
Yes.
space for a mural. The Discovery Martial Arts wall.
Right.
These are some big blank walls that need something on that.
And I think we're looking into specific places that we can start working on murals. Actually, the board members are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Work in process.
I just heard I need to talk to, I don't know if it's an Art Expressions activity or just Saul Cerna, but I just saw something on Facebook that he's applying for a permit to do a mural over at the American Legion Park on the bathroom, and then to paint all the tables and trash cans and that whole area to try to bring color and some artistry to it, because there's been so much tagging and graffiti.
Right.
And so just trying to combat all that with some positive things.
Absolutely. Reach down into the southern part of Stockton too.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, Reinvent South Stockton. They have done many parks. There's a in one in the Mattie Harrell Park. They've really addressed a lot of South Stockton.
Yes.
But kind of move it up this way. I know. I think they did some work over at Caldwell Park.
Yes.
When the stock market was there, and so what else is planned for the Art League? Do you guys have any other things coming up? Or
Well, we're looking at memberships for the children, as I said, and I'm also thinking of working with other art leagues to perhaps collaborate with children's programs and make it even bigger. It seems to me that the more children get exposed to dancing and to art, they like it, and somehow they get turned off when they get to a certain age.
Sure.
So we need to have a great outlet for their creativity and get them away from those devices that sort of stunts their brain cells sometimes, one might say, and then just to raise an awareness of art everywhere for children to take with them. And let me just read you quickly this here. Our mission is to provide low-cost, high-quality art instruction to the youth of Stockton and to instill in them an appreciation of the arts as an enriching lifetime experience, an awareness of the learning process in all its endeavors, and a discovery of the power of creativity. So I think that's probably our goal, and it might just fit in many ways in many areas of Stockton.
Yeah, because I think what the Art League, what you guys realized is, so many of the members are older.
Right.
And you need the youth.
Yes, you do.
You need younger artists to come in so it can carry on.
Right. There's a tendency to look at the children as kind of messy and noisy.
Sure.
And there's not really room for them, but we made room, and I think everywhere people should make room for those kids and give them the quality education that they deserve. And that way, as they grow older, they can give back to the community.
There we go. And then also, I see when you bring in the students and all the families, the parents,
yes,
and friends.
Very important.
Then they rally around those people, and I've seen a lot of new faces in the Goodwin Gallery. Enjoying all the art that is presented, and I'm really glad to see some new art forms. I saw some origami
Yes,
there.
yes.
I would, that could possibly be considered a craft, but all of these the vast art forms that are represented. I love Roy Hogarth's lamps.
Yes.
His paper cut
Beautiful.
lamps. Just wonderful pieces that it's more than just drawing or painting. I think there's some textiles or
Right.
batik and,
Yes.
and different the fabric arts,
Paper
and
art, yes.
paper art.
And we're really lucky to have a new director, Jessica Fong. She's just done a brilliant job of pulling up our collograph and up to date and reaching out to people and contacts and bringing new people in and new ideas. She's so well organized. In fact, she was, when I taught at UOP, she was in one of my classes. And
So what did you teach?
I taught English and writing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, yeah, she's done an amazing job. We have more technology, upgraded facilities.
That's
It's-
excellent.
It's really doing well.
And you have a pretty nice website. You can,
Beautiful. Yes.
You can go on, and I'm really interested in the history of things. You can kind of go and see the history. You have the Collograph is your newsletter.
Right.
Do you still mail that out? or-
No, but it's online.
Okay, so it's online.
We do have paper copies in the gallery.
And one of the best things, if you join the Art League, how much is it now?
$50.
50.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can give more.
So join the Art League. But one of the things I liked is getting the roster of membership.
Yes, it's very nice.
So they have a pamphlet that you can see all the different members and their addresses, their contacts, if you want to get a hold of somebody.
Absolutely, yes.
That's a wealth to know. I think there's at least 150 members.
Right.
That
And
are in.
what's really fun is artists like me who aren't really going anywhere but really enjoy the art. We can put our work up on the walls, and the members of all the artists out there, you know what this is all about, but some people don't. So we could put our walls, and then we sit at the gallery for 3 hours at a time. So we put in 6 hours total for the month as a way to work out the paintings on the walls. We put prices up, and actually, I was several of my works have been sold.
Okay.
So, and it's very exciting.
Oh yeah. I sold a couple photographs there, and this is amazing. I took a class in San Jose, and it was about turning found objects into a collage.
Right.
So I went out in the streets of San Jose and picked up like trash off the street and turned that into a collage. So it was like a paper bag and an egg carton that had been crushed, and then some materials from a tree like leaves and berries and feathers and stuff. And I put this all together, and that sold at the Goodwin
Wonderful.
for like $75.
That's great.
So someone from San Francisco came in and said, "I gotta have it."
Yes.
But so it's just great to get all the different mediums out there. You guys have I think you have some like field trips. Do you take trips different places?
We used to quite a bit. We've talked about doing some field trips. San Francisco, the Legion of Honor, MoMA, but not so much recently.
Not so much.
No.
Okay. So maybe we could bring some of those
Absolutely,
back, bring the plein
absolutely.
air, do some murals, have the, art walk, have field trips. But I'm really glad that there's a focus with the youth and some of the fundamentals. I know from Raul Mora. He's just a wonderful artist.
Yes, he is.
One of the founders of the Mexican Heritage Center. and just to get the fundamentals of drawing. That's kind of where it all starts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always go back to the basics. When we're in a slump, go back to the basics.
And just to get all that new blood in there.
Sure.
And so I think the Art League's in pretty good shape.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's doing so well.
Okay.
It really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad to hear that. And I think, do you have anything else you want to?
Just the website. I didn't
yes.
have those
Yes,
dates
the
down,
website.
so all those dates and people and new things that we're doing are on the website.
Okay,
So,
now the website is
StocktonArtLeague.org.
Okay, StocktonArtLeague.org, and that will tell you all about the gallery and the history and everything. What is the address of the gallery?
1900 Pacific Avenue, 1902.
1902 Pacific. It's the corner of Pacific and Maple, with the big mural on the side, and that's where the one of our best galleries in Stockton. You have galleries at at Delta College,
Yes.
at UOP. But this is one of the only freestanding
Yes.
art galleries.
And the community of artists who belong there is it's wonderful. They're good people, and they work together, and we argue together, and we have fun, and we compare notes, and it's a nice little community all of itself. Yeah. So
Well, I wanted to thank Mary for coming in
I
and
appreciate it. My pleasure.
telling the story of the Art League, and how we've moved over the years. All the different people that have come through, and really got it started, and how we're going into the future.
Right. Very good. Thank you, Joy, for all that you do for the art world.
Thank you. And I'll see you next time on Behind the Art Scene on KXVS, the Voice of Stockton.